So here's a walkthrough of the camping setup with the Go Fast camper. Starting with the canopy here, we've got a quick tent, just like an 8x8 tailgate tent. We use it for a bunch of stuff, but it works out great. Fitting the awning to the camper here fits nicely. We just got a picnic table, just like a folding, I think it's Lifetime brand picnic table, and a couple of the ARB Old Man Emu chairs. These things are awesome. They fold down to like kind of a square that's maybe 4 inches thick and like, I don't know, a little over a foot square. So those are great. We've got bistro lights here in the ceiling, just like some LED bistro lights off Amazon, $20 or something like that. We use the Yeti as kind of a step to get up into the GFC. But before we go in, I'll show some different shots of the GFC from the outside, but this is a Go Fast camper. It's basically just like a truck topper, but it has an attached rooftop tent with roof access through the truck bed, which is awesome. It's really lightweight, so you don't really have to commit your truck to being a camper 100% of the time. It's kind of just like a truck topper most of the time. So I put in these LED strips that are kind of like neon LEDs, people are calling them, because they kind of look like neon lights. The strips actually shoot sideways into a silicone filler, and so all the light comes out sideways, so you don't actually get a direct view of the LEDs, which makes it for like a really diffuse, nice light. So I put it around the interior bottom 3 sides, and then this side here, because it can light up the tailgate and the ground around you, which is great. It's got like a power switch here, and if you hold it down, you can dim it, and if you tap it again and hold it down, it brightens. And then what I did here is added a little switch so that I can turn off the tailgate light, because if we're like inside, sometimes we'll watch like TV down here or something, and this is folded down. This will be kind of shining right into your eyes, so then you can just turn it off like that. So that's great. I put 5% tint on the back here so that people can't see in as easily, which is nice, but we'll usually kind of hang a curtain here at night if we're hanging out down here, just so people don't come kind of looking in. So if you come in a little closer here, we've got the bed rug in the bed, which these are really common, popular. It's just a good way to kind of save your knees from dealing with these like ribbed floors here, because it's a big pain. I still don't know if I'm going to get the panel for this back tailgate, the like mountain hatch or whatever it is. It's nice, but it's really expensive. But my knees do kill getting in and out of this thing. So I guess, well, kind of starting with here, this is kind of the heart of everything, is like this EcoFlow River Pro. They call it like a solar generator, but really it's just a battery with an AC inverter, 12-volt power supply, a bunch of USB ports. It's got a light, but then it also charges with solar. So I don't know if you can kind of see that little cable coming in the side right here. I've got a 100-watt solar panel on the roof. I don't know exactly forget kind of what the watt hour was. I think it's like 650 watt hours. Somewhere around there, but it does have like a X boost mode where you can power stuff like hair dryers or like things with heating elements. I've got it hooked up to my air compressor right here. These other 12-volt things are the light strips. So there's one downstairs, which you're seeing now, and then one upstairs that goes around the roof. And then this is just USB-C kind of going to a USB hub that's upstairs that just kind of charges their stuff at night. And then this is the AC inverter, and this is just going to the bistro lights up top here. It's nice because you can also power it with, or control it with an app, and you can pair it to Wi-Fi. If you have like a hotspot, you can control it in a hotspot, which is cool. So speaking of the air compressor, obviously if you got to inflate your tires, that's great, but what I have it hooked up to is the water port. So this is like a 2.5 gallon pressurized water tank, and if you see here, it's got a Schrader valve connected to the air compressor, and so you can see right now it's somewhere around 40 psi. If it dips below that, I can just turn this on and that will, inflate it to 40 psi and then be done. Just got it on like a truck bed rail mount here, which is like a little lock on it. So the Schrader valve can keep it pressurized, but it also self-pressurizes if you hook it up to like a hose. it'll equalize with your house's water pressure or whatever you're using. So that's great. Here, I can kind of show you here. Got a pretty good stream. There's like the jet, and then for like a shower. So that's all. It's got pretty good. It works pretty well, and so we can have like a pop-up shower thing that we can put next door right here and just kind of pull the hose through and use that. So that's pretty nice. I'm not crazy about this solution being so close to the battery, so I'll probably figure something out better there. But other stuff kind of on this side, we've got a Thetford porta potty, which is awesome. We don't use it too much, but it's good to have in case of emergencies. Just like a Tupperware bin. I like having a clear bin because we can see where everything is, but it's kind of junky. I want to have something more sturdy that we can stand on. We'll see with that. And then I have a fan, just like a 12-volt fan there that's kind of pointing into the truck bed. If you look in the middle here against the cabin, we've got the recovery boards, just like X-Bolt. They're kind of like the cheaper version of recovery boards off Amazon. Haven't really had to use them, a little bit in the snow over the winter, but yeah, they're good to have too. And then I guess before getting too far into the truck bed, just fire extinguisher, 5-pound propane tank. Really nice having this. We don't have to go through the green bottles that everyone hates to buy because they're always overpriced. Then you have to throw them out because they're pressurized. You can't recycle them. So this is a reusable 5-pound propane tank. I get made fun of the guy at Tractor Supply every time I have to refill it because it's so small. But we'll use that to power our stove. We've got like a 2-burner Eureka camp stove right there. I've got a catalytic heater here, which really came in handy at Yellowstone because it was way colder than we thought it was going to be for August. And then I also have like a propane lantern, a little torch. We're going to start a campfire. So this kind of comes in handy a lot. And then obviously it's not out, but I have a propane tank, like a standard propane tank to the 1-pound adapter. So those are like $20 on Amazon. So yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff in the truck bed. Things you might kind of take note of with the GFC while we're down here. You can lock yourself into the camper at night using these latches. If you kind of look up here, these things, when you clip it shut, this gets kind of stuck in this direction, and you can slide this up and down into that little gap to prevent people from coming in if you're inside, and then you're not trapped inside. So that's really great. The whole thing is built like a tank, if it's not obvious. All this stuff is machined in-house in Bozeman, Montana. Really cool company. Everything's made in the US. So the ceiling is made up of like modular panels. So you see the 2 panels right there, and then there's this white one right here, which they all can be removed. So like this whole truck bed, you can stand in here if all these panels are removed. But I'll start by just kind of removing this one right here. So if I lift this up and kind of toss it off to the side, this is kind of how you can get up. So you can remove a couple panels if you wanted to, but usually my wife or I will just remove one panel, and then we can get down in the middle of the night without disturbing the other one. You can kind of see there's room for 2 sleeping bags. That one's folded up right now. Here's the panel, get that out of the way. We've got a little window on each side, just kind of for ventilation. We've got a bigger, this is an option to have these side windows. So these are nice big side windows. Every camper has this big back one, this big back door here. So you can see that the outside tent material is rolled up. So it's really nice to be able to just have like a picnic, like a scenic overlook or something, and just kind of hop up here, have some food, because the whole tent packs away in definitely under a minute. Assuming that you've got your pillows down below, you can keep your sleeping bags in here. You can just kind of fold the tent down in about a minute, and then it pops up in just like 10 seconds. It's nothing. So you can set up for a picnic or something really easily. The other thing is I've got the same LED strips that were downstairs. I've got them right here. There is a extruded aluminum track right here that they have some proprietary hardware, so you can mount accessories in there, and it kind of goes all the way around the top and then back down this way. So one of the things I love about these LED strips is that it's only 6 millimeters wide. So normally when we think of LED strips, we think about being like a centimeter wide. And that is true when you look at it sideways. But if you remember how I said that the LEDs are mounted sideways and then the light actually projects sideways, that's how they're able to get it so thin. And I've mounted them totally straight, but another reason people kind of call them neon lights is because when they're mounted in that way, you can bend it and make any kind of shape you want. So a lot of people make words and stuff out of them. They're really nice, just like maybe a little more expensive than your regular LED lights. I just have the warm white, and they were about $30 for about 16 feet, something like that. So then on this up here, we have one, you can see the USB hub I was talking about, as well as one more switch. But also I'll show some pictures of these things on at night. But yeah, it's really nice just being able to still have access to this whole extruded aluminum track. It doesn't like obstruct it at all. And I mean, just my opinion, but I feel like it kind of looks OEM, just kind of being in there. Has a nice clean look. So a little bit of soldering, but not too much work. So you can just kind of hop back down here. I think that's pretty much all I have to show. Inside the truck is a mess, but you know, we store a bunch of other stuff in there. But yeah, that's pretty much it.